Shashi Tharoor also putting out a statement after that saying that there were preposterous charges by the Delhi police and, the court's order brings significant conclusion to a long nightmare. Your thoughts at this point, Vikas Bawa, on what we heard the court say today?
Well, of course, it has taken 7.5 years to seek discharge from this case. The unfortunate death was in 2014, January 2014. And I was quite surprised when the Delhi police filed the charge sheet in this case because there's no evidence. There is absolutely no evidence of cruelty or torture or even abetment to suicide. Forget about abetment, there was no evidence of suicide in this case. But Delhi police thought it appropriate to file the charge sheet and leave it to the court. And we were very fortunate that the learned special judge gave us the opportunity to argue at length and show that these thousands of documents don't have any evidence of cruelty or abetment to suicide. So it's 7.5 years, but we are happy that ultimately the justice has prevailed and he has been honorably discharged from this case.
Mr. Bawa, Shashi Tharoor talks about how there have been dozens of unfounded accusations against him, that he's been vilified by sustained campaigns in the media. Now that this case itself has been put to rest, is he contemplating any kind of action?
Well, it's very difficult because I have not seen the order. The order has not been uploaded at the moment. So we have to read on what basis the discharge has been allowed by the court, but of course there was absolutely no evidence. But I can't make a comment on this at this stage. It's since we have not read the order, we don't know what is the basis of discharge, and I have to speak to him on this. So I can't make any comment at the moment.
All right, fair enough. Mr. Tharoor also talks about his faith in the Indian judiciary being vindicated today, but he also goes on to say that it is that in our justice system, the process itself is all too often the punishment, and that presumably is a reference to the 7.5 years that it's taken for matters to come to this conclusion. Now, Shashi Tharoor, of course, has the benefit of being an MP, a very well recognized face. And given that it's taken 7.5 years for him in such a situation, where does that leave the ordinary under trial?
Absolutely. I agree with you on this. And also, I think Dr. Tharoor is absolutely right. 7.5 years to decide the application of discharge, it's really unfortunate, but I can't blame the courts for it. The SIT of Delhi Police took about 4.5 years to conclude the investigation. In fact, they took 1 year to register the FIR in this case. The death of Sunanda Pushkar is January 2014. FIR is January 2015. And then 3.5 years of investigation, charge sheet filed without any evidence. All allegations are frivolous. There is no complaint which is made by anybody in this case with regard to harassment. There is no evidence of any witness who says that she was subjected to any cruelty. There is conclusive evidence on record in the form of opinions of best doctors in the country that it is neither a case of homicide nor a case of suicide. But still, it has taken 7.5 years. So I think overall, I would say the criminal justice system in our country has to undergo a change. We should, start using technology as we are, using it nowadays. The courts are hearing the case through video conferencing. But we must expedite. If discharge has to happen in 7.5 years, see the kind of harassment, see the kind of torture which he must have faced for 7.5 years. But I advised him on day one that since the matter is sub judice, please don't make any statement in public, which he did diligently. And he, of course, had full faith in the judicial system. Mm-hmm. So he gave those 7.5 years to this system. And ultimately, he has got an order, which I have just, received a copy running into 175 pages. Just about a minute back, I have got it. So we think, in fact, I personally, as a criminal lawyer, feel that our criminal justice system should improve. And we have to expedite this entire process of investigation and trial. You can't investigate for 4 years in a case where there is no evidence. If the investigating agency is unable to take a call, if they can't decide whether offense is made out or not, they should file a report. There is no harm in, keeping it pending for 4 years and ultimately filing a report which is no report in the eyes of law, and then leaving it to the court to decide. Ultimately, we expect our investigating agencies to be fair and independent. And if no offense is made out, they should have the guts and they should have the courage to file closure reports in the court. They should not leave it to the court.